All right, good morning, everybody. Saturday morning here, Cooter. We just got back from a nice trip to Windrock Park, and a lot of cleanup to do today. You can see the growler is still on the trailer. Haven't touched it, but taking a few minutes. I got a shop project here, a little upgrade. Replacing some wear and tear items on my 2015 JKU, also known as Blue Balls. This thing had a severe case of death wobble, and the guys looked at it a couple weeks ago, and I'm not going to get into a lot of detail with it here, but it's all factory tie rods. The tie rod end up at the pitman arm is worn out. I know from trying to do an alignment on it, this adjuster is frozen. I already have the stabilizer off, so I'm going to pull the two front wheels. I've got to reseal my diff cover. That looks like it's leaking a bit. Anyway, pull the wheels and replace the tie rods and drag link. But what I got was a Barnes four-wheel drive aluminum tie rod kit for this thing. Pretty cool. I called them. A buddy of mine in the club had just got one for his, told me they were back in stock. I called them. They were actually out of stock that quick. They go through these very fast. This whole kit, the four ends, the offset ones are for the tie rod. To my door was around $400 with aluminum tie rods and a left and right hand thread. It also comes with a, let me grab it here, it's over here. Comes with a clamp on bracket for the stabilizer. Sorry about that, we're still recording here. It's a quick little video. So, Barnes supplies this little, excuse me. Still getting all that Windrock dust out of my nose. This little clamp-on bracket that I should be able to put where I need it, and it'll accept a factory steering stabilizer. So interestingly, here's the part numbers for their tie rod ends. I've seen these numbers before. I want to say that's kind of a generic kind of number for a lot of these tie rod ends. These happen to be from a 1-ton Chevy truck application, I believe. So this one will go at the pitman arm. One of these will go at the drag link. So I believe they'll lay out. I probably got that backwards. Yeah. So anyway, the ends with the groove in them are the left-hand ends. So this should lay out this way, like that. So pitman arm, right-hand knuckle, right-hand knuckle. Yep, that's a left-hand end. Flip this over. And left wheel. So it should go like that. You can see the offset in them. So you clear all the front differential and whatnot. These are 70-75 aluminum. They measure, I think these measure 1.5 inches in diameter. It looks like 1.5 inches. And yeah, should go together. I'll give you another picture, a little video on the install. All their stuff comes packaged nice with these, protector caps, thread protectors, so that's all. They're all greasable. And supposedly this is a no drill application. They will fit the tapers that are already in the knuckles and the pitman arm. So we'll find out. Okay, so here we are. Front end's all stripped off of the tie rods and the drag link. Just to show you, this is one of the offset ends that comes in the kit from Barnes. This is a no drill kit. It fits right up in the taper. It locks in very nicely. This will go on and be the drag link. And I'll take you over the bench. I'm going to compare the length of the original, or the tie rod as it was on here. And just a little side note, This is a 2015 Jeep. It was a Sahara Altitude Edition, so it came with these, you know, the nicer side steps. Obviously, these are rotting out, believe it or not. So, looking for another set of those. But it did not come with a Dana 44 front. It was not a Rubicon edition, so it has the 272 low-range transfer case still. But I had upgraded the gear ratio to 456. Took out the 456 gear Dana 30 that was in it, sold that. Picked up from a friend this 450 or this Dana 44 out of a Recon edition. So you saw in a previous video how we trussed that, we straightened it, we trussed it. So this tie rod fits the Dana 44 or the 30. I believe they use all the same part numbers. So that's that. I'm just doing a little maintenance on it. The front diff cover, the bolts were a little loose and it was leaking. So just doing a little maintenance on that. So let me show you on here what I've done. Okay, I'm not sure what happened. I had a little camera issue. Had to reset it. Here's the new one assembled, left-hand ends with the offset. You can see how it kind of matches the offset on the factory rod end. Much beefier. You can see just in the ends itself how much beefier they are. I suspect these will be just fine. I know some guys have actually broken the offset ends. Hopefully not a problem. What I'm going to do is I measured this one at, I believe it was 58.25 center to center. These I ran in all the way so they're even. But what I'll do is I'll put the grease fittings in there, install it on the Jeep, and then adjust it at 58.25 center to center as an initial reading, and then I'll put the toe plates on it. We'll check it with some tape measures. Okay, so here it is. Tie rod's installed. I've got to tighten up the nuts are tight. I've got to get them in the right spot, put a cotter key in it. These nuts take a 15/16, and unlike the factory lock nuts, these take a cotter pin. So you'll just line up the hole and put the provided cotter pin through there. Alignment is set. It's nice and even. I don't know if you can see that. So on my front, I'm 68.5. Back, we're 68.75. Maybe about a 1/4 inch of toe in. Maybe it's actually just a hair less than a 1/4. I think the spec is 1/8 to a 1/4 toe in. Very nice fit and finish by Barnes. The threads were mint. Everything went together. Put anti-seize on there because I've got steel and aluminum. They do give you some nice wrench flats to hold this and then lock the jams down. Yeah, I've been very happy with the Barnes kit so far. As you can see, not sponsored by Barnes, just happen to make good products. Barnes 4-wheel drive is the truss on this one. That was another upgrade we did on here. For the cost, for the money, seems like a very, very solid kit. So let me get the diff cover back on, some oil in there, the drag link, lock all this down, and we're going to adjust the drag link in a similar fashion. I'll take a measurement off the stock one and see how this thing runs. Okay, Cooter's back here. Here is my wrap up, and I'll explain why and how this ended up this way, of my steering stabilizer mount, and which was the final touch to my new upgraded Barnes aluminum JK no drill tie rod ends. So I needed new tie rods anyway on this JK. This end on my factory one was worn out. I like the Barnes kit. I know a few people who've used it successfully. The price point was right. And Barnes directions online, they did say, and it's right there, and that their tie rod kit was designed to use a stock tie rod in a stock location. I'm sorry. a stock steering stabilizer in a stock location. So I had a stock steering stabilizer, but I did not have a stock location because this axle, when I built this for this Jeep, went in and together with a Barnes truss and a Barnes heavy duty track bar mount with an alternate raised steering stabilizer tab up there. And that worked fine with the factory tie rods for a while. However, I could not find any way, any solution to mount a steering stabilizer. This one is an OE, but I don't see why an aftermarket would be any bit of a problem. To these tie rods using that hole up there. I'll try to cycle the steering here and give you an idea of why. So as you see, we get closer here, and I've got to get a good angle on it. I guess I'm not doing a very good job of showing this here. There's about an inch of clearance right in here between the face of this bracket and the inside of the tie rod tube, maybe 1.25 inches. The other alternative was to use one of those double-ended stud bolts here on the track bar. But as you can see, as I turn driver, you cover almost half the head of that bolt. So putting the stabilizer right here and running it out to the tie rod was not going to work either. There you can see the raised mount, how it's above the drag link, and now it's right on. Now, obviously this is up on a lift, so the angles and everything would change just a little bit with it on the ground, but the problem would remain. So I tried mounting the stabilizer in all different ways. I thought maybe I could weld a couple tabs on here and get it back close to a factory location. I couldn't find anything that would really work. Barnes does supply you with this nice plasma cut or laser cut bent stamp steel bracket, clamps onto their tie rod. It works great. Uses a factory 12 millimeter bolt. So this is not a factory bolt, but it's a 12 millimeter. So what I came up with after trying about 6 different ways to mount it, I even tried mounting it up here onto the drag link and anchoring it down here, anchoring it up there. Couldn't come up with anything that would clear the steering at full sweep. In the straight ahead position, it wasn't much of a problem, but it was when this thing started to turn full lock, it ran into trouble. So what I came up with was this, and welded 2 tabs onto the front diff, kind of fabricated this little bracket here. Welded it right to the Spicer 1/8 inch thick OE diff cover. I think this is going to work great. We've cycled it, picked it up, put it on the ground, turn left, turn right. I have no clearance issues, nothing hits. There's plenty of clearance when it's on the ground with the tie rods, with the track bar. There's tons of room up in here for the suspension to compress. So we're going to give it a shot, see how it works, but that's what I came up with.